女士们、先生们，请热烈欢迎Ivanka Trump。晚上好。
Good evening.
谢谢。1年前，当我的父亲宣布参与总统竞选，我介绍了他，以他自己的方式方法和他自己的愿望，他做出了很多的牺牲。作为一个外人参与政治领域，他从16位非常有才能的竞争者中脱颖而出。1年多来，当拉川普都是人民的冠军。今天晚上，他是人民的提名者。像我大多数同龄人一样，我并不把我自己分类到共和党或者是民主党。我投票是根据是否对得起我的家庭和我的国家。有时这是一个非常艰难的选择，但是这一次不一样。作为你们的提名者的自豪的女儿，此时此刻，我想告诉你们，当拉川普才是一个可以使美国再次强大起来的竞选者。我们几十年没有看到的变革，只有从系统外面，从一个花了他毕生精力做到了别人称为不可能的事的人中得到。我的父亲是一个战斗者，当主流很坚韧，他们也很坚韧。他像所有伟大领袖一样，他深刻研究，努力工作，让自己变得更好、更强壮。我看到他为他的家庭战斗，我看到他为他的员工战斗，我看到他为他的公司战斗，现在我看到他为我们的国家战斗。这是他人生的故事和最近争取夺冠的精神。这也是达到团结我们所有人目标的前奏曲。当这个党，最好这个国家，知道再次赢是什么样子。把我带大的父亲是一个有名但又不是太知名的人。在川普的波天大楼我们一起工作的办公室里，我记得我在他的办公桌下用玩具建造微型大楼，同时他却在用钢筋、水泥、玻璃建造真正的大楼。我的父亲教导我们兄弟姊妹正确的价值观和强壮的道德品质的重要性。他向我们展示了怎样适应社会，怎样接受挑战，怎样把我们所做的事情做得更好。他告诉我们，没有我们不能做到的事。如果我们与远见、热情和无止境的职业美德相结合的话，我父亲最大的才能就是看到别人在看到他们自己的潜力之前看到他们的潜力。我们就是在这样的情况下长大的。他告诉我们，没有努力，潜力很快会消失的。像他一样，我们不仅有职责为我们自己工作，而且也为了我们这个世界变得更加的美好。多年以来，我时不时看到我的父亲为报纸上的故事人物流泪，是那些他从未见过、正在经历艰难困苦的人。他用他特制的钢笔写下纸条给他的助理，要求去找到那个人，邀请他到川普大楼来见他。他与这些人交谈，用他的关系网替他们找到工作，或者给他们一个喘息的机会。和所有曾经和当拉川普在一起的人一样，当他们离开他的办公室，感到生活又变得美好起来。 在我的一生中，我亲眼目睹了他对别人的同情和大方，特别是对那些正在受苦受难的人。这就是当你落魄的时候，他的方式方法和你在一起。我的父亲不仅有我们下一个总统所需要的魄力和能力，同时他的善意和同情心将使他能够成为这个国家所需要的领袖。在我父亲所有的信念里，有着非常公平的意识。我在川普的机构，在他的身边工作了10多年。我看到他作为领导怎样运作，做出那些改变职业和生活的重要决定。我从考察建筑工地的工作中学到了很多关于这个世界。运作合适的建筑工地是真正的优点所在。从这些建筑上，能力是一眼可见的，无能是无法常驻的。这些建筑工地也是一个汇聚所，它聚集了各行各业的人，把他们团结起来，向着同样一个目标。在我父亲的工作场地，总是有着各种不同背景的男人。在这个男人的领域里，你同样也看到女人。我的父亲很重视才华，当他发现他识别真正的知识和技能，他不论肤色和性别，他雇佣对那份工作最好的人。句号。无论多么有远见的语言和承诺，都只是给你听听而已。在我们这一行，如果你没有建筑给大家，你就不是一个建筑师。我父亲的作品就是这城市上空的建筑。许多人都争取在一个领域里取得成功。我的父亲在许多领域里取得了高水平、全球性成功。他之所以成为一个成功的企业家，是因为他倾听每一个人。亿万总裁通常不会去问做那份工作的人对于那份工作的意见。我的父亲是一个例外，在他的每一个工程里，你都会看到他同工头、油漆工、工程师、电工交谈。他寻求他们的回馈信息，他们认为可以有不同的方式来做，或者可以做得更好一些。当拉川普在位时，他所看重的是能力、努力和卓越的贡献。在川普的机构里，一直就有这样的哲学观。在我父亲的公司里，占据高位的女性多于男性，女人和男人同工同酬。一个即将成为母亲的女人是受到支持，而不是被排除的。女性占有了美国劳动大军的46%，而40%的美国家庭是靠女性供养的。在2014年，每1块钱男性挣到，女性才拿到83分；每1块钱男性挣到，单身女性可以拿到94分。同时，结了婚的母亲才能拿到77分。像市场调查者的研究报告一样，性别不再是这个国家同工不同酬的关键因素，而是成为母亲以后，作为一个总统，我的父亲将要修改劳工法。这个制定于女性还不是主要劳动大军的时候的劳工法，他将关注儿童福利的质量，让所有人都能够支付和获得。我自己作为3个6年孩子的母亲，我知道又要照顾家庭又要工作是多么的艰难。我同时知道，比起大多数人来说，我是多么的幸运。美国家庭需要救援。允许母亲带着孩子工作的政策不应该是新鲜事，而应该规范化。 政治家谈论同工同酬，而我的父亲在他的职业生涯中早就让他在他的公司里成为现实。他将要努力争取同工同酬，而我要站在他的身边，为这个同工同酬共同努力。今天的美国人民需要一个经济允许他们的工资再次上升，一个川普总统将使经济回转，同时恢复伟大的美国传统，给予每一个新一代比上一代更光明的前途机会。在Donald Trump，你有一个候选人知道想做一件事和做成一件事的区别。当我的父亲说他要建一座摩天大楼，请用眼关注天空，一层一层有着历史新高和标志性的建筑将出现在这里。真正的人被雇用来做真正的事，远见变为现实。当我的父亲说他要让美国重新强大起来，他一定会传递给你们。今年作为一个国家，我们有这个机会去重新索取我们的传统，做大梦，让不可能的事变成可能。幸运的是，当拉川普没有能力去思考小事。当我还是一个小孩的时候，我的父亲总是告诉我：“伊万卡，你反正总是要思考，你最好思考大事。”作为一个总统，我的父亲将要用最冒险、最值得的搏斗。他将无畏地设置很高的目标，在他的信念中，他将决然无情地去实现它们。美国人民，请听我说，当你们拥有我的父亲在你们的角落，你再也不用担心被打压。他将无时无刻地用尽各种方法为你争取。也许因为他是一个开发者，当拉川普不忍心看到空空的大街和荒废的工厂，他不能忍受大学毕业生被学生贷款缠绕的不公，同时一个不能支付孩子养育费的母亲不得不回去工作，以让生活变得宽松一点。其他政治家也看到了这些艰难状况，看到了所有的不公平，他们只会说：“我感受到了你的痛苦。”只有我的父亲会说：“我要去替你搏斗。”在这个国家，勤劳的男男女女都能够区分我的父亲。他坚强、不屈不挠、诚实、真实。他是一个乐观者，一个从不放弃相信美国以及所有美国拥有的潜力。他全心全意地热爱他的家庭和这个国家。政治家要求用他们的承诺，而不是他们所做的结果来评判他们。我要求你们用我父亲所做的成就来评判他，从他的孩子们的身上来评判他的价值观，从他建造的摩天大楼，他所创建的公司，他所创造的成千上万的工作机会来评判他的能力。他才是一个最合格的总裁，来管理一个18万亿的经济。我的父亲将要召集各个领域、各个行业、各个阶层最好、最聪明的人才，一个新的思考队伍，从最新的角度、勇敢的办法来面对我们的国家现在和将来的问题。从1月17号起，所有的事情都将变成可能。我们可以在此期待、做梦、思考的做大事。没有人比我的父亲对美国人民更有信心。他将是你最伟大的、最诚实的、最忠诚的夺冠者。这是一个搏击者，一个实干家，是你选举出来的总统提名人选。从来没有人期待过这一瞬间，在我们国家的一生中，终于有了一个明确的任务。 而且把它交给了一个不寻常的人。他已经准备好了，向每个从这个伟大的国家的各个角落，有着各种背景的男男女女讲话，以争取你的信任、你的选票。从来至今，在我这里，我的一生中，我都爱戴他。而今天晚上，我不能更骄傲地向你们、向全美国人民呈现我的父亲，我们下一位总统 Donald J. Trump。
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a very warm welcome to Ivanka Trump.
Good evening. Thank you. 1 year ago, I introduced my father when he declared his candidacy. In his own way and through his own sheer force of will, he sacrificed greatly to enter the political arena as an outsider, and he prevailed against a field of 16 very talented competitors. For more than a year, Donald Trump has been the people's champion. And tonight, he is the people's nominee. Like many of my fellow millennials, I do not consider myself categorically Republican or Democrat. More than party affiliation, I vote based on what I believe is right for my family and for my country. Sometimes it's a tough choice. That is not the case this time. As the proud daughter of your nominee, I am here to tell you that this is the moment, and Donald Trump is the person to make America great again. Real change, the kind we have not seen in decades, is only going to come from outside the system, and it's only going to come from a man who has spent his entire life doing what others said could not be done. My father is a fighter. When the primaries got tough, and they were tough, he did what any great leader does. He dug deeper, worked harder, got better, and became stronger. I have seen him fight for his family. I have seen him fight for his employees. I have seen him fight for his company. And now I am seeing him fight for our country. It's been the story of his life, and more recently, the spirit of his campaign. It's also a prelude to reaching the goal that unites us all, when this party, and better still, this country, knows what it is like to win again. If it's possible to be famous and yet not really well known, that describes the father who raised me. In the same office in Trump Tower, where we now work together, I remember playing on the floor by my father's desk, constructing miniature buildings with Legos and erector sets, while he did the same with concrete, steel, and glass. My father taught my siblings and me the importance of positive values and a strong ethical compass. He showed us how to be resilient, how to deal with challenges, and how to strive for excellence in all that we do. He taught us that there is nothing we cannot accomplish if we marry vision and passion with an enduring work ethic. One of my father's greatest talents is his ability to see potential in people before they see it in themselves. It was like that for us too growing up. He taught us that potential vanishes into nothing without effort, and that like him, we each had a responsibility to work not just for ourselves, but for the betterment of the world around us. Over the years, on too many occasions to count, I saw my father tear stories out of the newspaper about people whom he had never met who were facing some injustice or hardship. He'd write a note to his assistant in a signature black felt-tip pen and request that the person be found and invited to Trump Tower to meet with him. He would talk to them and then draw upon his extensive network to find them a job or get them a break. And they would leave his office, as people so often do after having been with Donald Trump, feeling that life could be great again. Throughout my entire life, I have witnessed his empathy and generosity towards others, especially those who are suffering. It is just his way of being in your corner when you're down. My father not only has the strength and ability necessary to be our next president, but also the kindness and compassion that will enable him to be the leader that this country needs. My father has a sense of fairness that touches every conviction he's held. I've worked alongside of him for more than a decade now at the Trump Organization, and I've seen how he operates as a leader, making important decisions that shape careers and that change lives. I've learned a lot about the world from walking construction jobs by his side. When run properly, construction sites are true meritocracies. Competence in the building trades is easy to spot, and incompetence is impossible to hide. These sites are also incredible melting pots, gathering people from all walks of life and uniting them to work towards a single mission. There have always been men of all background and ethnicities on my father's job sites, and long before it was commonplace, you also saw women. My father values talent. He recognizes real knowledge and skill when he finds it. He is colorblind and gender neutral. He hires the best person for the job, period. Words and promises, no matter how visionary they sound, will only get you so far. In our business, you're not a builder unless you've got a building to show for it. Or in my father's case, city skylines. Most people strive their entire lives to achieve great success in a single industry. My father has succeeded in many, on the highest level and on a global scale. One of the reasons he has thrived as an entrepreneur is because he listens to everyone. Billionaire executives don't usually ask the people doing the work for their opinion of the work. My father is an exception. On every one of his projects, you'll see him talking to the super, the painter, the engineers, the electricians. He'll ask them for their feedback, if they think something should be done differently or could be done better. When Donald Trump is in charge, all that counts is ability, effort, and excellence. This has long been the philosophy at the Trump Organization. At my father's company, there are more female than male executives. Women are paid equally for the work that we do, and when a woman becomes a mother, she is supported, not shut out. Women represent 46% of the total U.S. labor force, and 40% of American households have female primary breadwinners. In 2014, women made 83 cents for every dollar earned by a man. Single women without children earn 94 cents for each dollar earned by a man, whereas married mothers made only 77 cents. As researchers have noted, gender is no longer the factor creating the greatest wage discrepancy in this country. Motherhood is. As president, my father will change the labor laws that were put in place at a time when women were not a significant portion of the workforce. And he will focus on making quality childcare affordable and accessible for all. As a mother myself of 3 young children, I know how hard it is to work while raising a family. And I also know that I'm far more fortunate than most. American families need relief. Policies that allow women with children to thrive should not be novelties, they should be the norm. Politicians talk about wage equality, but my father has made it a practice at his company throughout his entire career. He will fight for equal pay, for equal work, and I will fight for this too, right alongside of him. Americans today need an economy that permits people to rise again. A Trump presidency will turn the economy around and restore the great American tradition of giving each new generation hope for brighter opportunities than those of the generation that came before. In Donald Trump, you have a candidate who knows the difference between wanting something done and making it happen. When my father says that he will build a tower, keep an eye on the skyline. Floor by floor, a soaring structure will appear, usually record-setting in its height and iconic in its design. Real people are hired to do real work. Vision becomes reality. When my father says that he will make America great again, he will deliver. We have a chance this year to reclaim our heritage as a country that dreams big and makes the impossible happen. Fortunately, Donald Trump is incapable of thinking small. When I was a child, my father always told me, Ivanka, if you're going to be thinking anyway, you might as well think big. As president, my father will take on the bold and worthy fights. He will be unafraid to set lofty goals, and he will be relentless in his determination to achieve them. To people all over America, I say, when you have my father in your corner, you will never again have to worry about being let down. He will fight for you all the time, all the way, every time. Maybe it's the developer in him, but Donald Trump cannot stand to see empty main streets and boarded-up factories. He can't bear the injustice of college graduates who are crippled by student debt and mothers who can't afford the cost of the child care required to return to work to better the lives of their families. Other politicians see these hardships, see the unfairness of it all, and they say, I feel for you. Only my father will say, I'll fight for you. The hard-working men and women of this country identify with my father. He is tough and he is persevering. He is honest and he is real. He's an optimist and he's a relentless believer in America and all of her potential. He loves his family and he loves his country with his heart and his soul. Politicians ask to be judged by their promises, not their results. I ask you to judge my father by his results. Judge his values by those he's instilled in his children. Judge his competency by the towers he's built, the companies he's founded, and the tens of thousands of jobs he's created. He's the single most qualified person to serve as chief executive of an $18 trillion economy. My father will call upon the best and brightest people from all spheres of industry and both sides of the aisle, a new set of thinkers to face our country's existing and future problems with fresh perspective and brave new solutions. Come January 17, all things will be possible again. We can hope and dream and think big again. No one has more faith in the American people than my father. He will be your greatest, your truest, and your most loyal champion. This is the fighter, the doer that you have chosen as your nominee. In ways no one expected, this moment in the life of our country has defined a mission and given it to an extraordinary man. He is ready to see it all the way through, to speak to every man and every woman of every background in every part of this great country, to earn your trust and to earn your vote. He earned that and much more from me a long time ago. I have loved and respected him my entire life, and I could not be more proud tonight to present to you and to all of America my father and our next president, Donald J. Trump.